What's up, everyone? This is Geo here. Welcome to a new episode of Games I Speak. Today we kind of have a normal size lineup, but the week was pretty slow with news, so I tried to pick out some stories that I thought was cool. So with that being said, let's jump right in. First up, rumor: Dead Space revival in development at Motive. So there's there's a rumor going on that there's a new Dead Space in development, and it's let's look at where it comes from. So Electronic Arts will announce a Dead Space revival during its EA Play live digital event on July 22nd, according to VentureBeat writer Jeff Grubb in the latest GamesBeat Decides podcast, which was picked up by Video Game Chronicles. The revival is reportedly developed by Electronic Arts Motive Studio, which also developed the October 2020 release Star Wars Squadrons. A Eurogamer story has corroborated these claims, which tallies with information Eurogamer has heard. Gemetsu has also separately heard that a Dead Space revival is in the works at Motive, which is said to be a reimagining rather than a sequel to the existing trilogy. The Dead Space series launched in October 2008 and has not seen a new entry with release of Dead Space since release of Dead Space 3 in February 2013. All the titles can be played on PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. So, yeah, Dead Space. I haven't played any of those games, but it is like a space survival horror game. I've seen a lot of clips. I've had a lot of friends that played it. You know, it's one of those franchises that people ask about a lot. When will we get a new Dead Space? So it would be cool if this is true. I'm always looking for new horror games to play, but it doesn't look like it's confirmed, and it doesn't look like there's any proof that it'll be like Dead Space 4. They're saying it might be like a reimagining, which, does that mean it's a remake of the original? Are they doing like a whole new story, maybe a new character? I don't know. So yeah, that's the rumor right now. And yeah, it would be cool if it's true. I love horror games. Um, all right. Next up, we have Neo: The World Ends with You. This demo just dropped. So I didn't know much about this game, so I kind of wanted to, see what is going on with it. So essentially, this is an old game that I believe came out on the DS, um, and uh, they're basically remaking a new version, and this looks like it's releasing on the PS4, um, which is strange. But I guess it doesn't matter because if you don't have a PS5, it's better that it's releasing on the PS4, and if you have a PS5, you can just play it on that. So what it looks like to me, I never played the original, but it looks like it's a action RPG. And what really makes this game stand out is the combat system. So that's going to be the big change between this and the original. So the original came out in I believe 2005, and this game even then had a unique combat system. But I can't compare it firsthand because I didn't play the original. So what I'm going to do is talk about what they're doing here. So essentially, the way they're going to do it is each character in your team is going to have a button on your controller. And every time you hit that button, that character will do a specific psych attack. And psych attacks are equipped using pins, I believe. So here's a video clip right here. You can see each character has a button associated with them, and when you press that button, that character will do a special unique attack on whichever enemy you're pointing at. And they're gonna have different types of attack. They're gonna have like charge attacks, quick attacks, and like if you hold a button, it'll be like a persistent attack. So here they talk about that, and then they're saying there's going to be over 300 pins, and each pin is going to basically have a unique psych attack on it. So you're going to be able to like cycle out all these different pins on your characters, and that's going to give them unique attacks. And so the gameplay is looking to be like super like dynamic, and it's trying to make it so that it's not too repetitive, so that you can just change whatever moves you want if you get bored of the current ones. They also said that the camera system is adaptive, so as you're jumping around doing attacks with different enemies, the camera is going to lock on to those characters and enemies, and it's going to lock on them in a way that fits that pin psych attack. So I would assume if you're doing a psych attack that's like a ranged attack, the camera is going to zoom out. And if you're doing a psych attack that's a melee attack, the camera is going to zoom in. So this game looks really cool. And you can pre-order now. It's coming on July 27th. And yeah, I'm debating getting this game because it looks really unique. I mean, the combat looks really cool. And as you can see, you're basically a group of misfits traveling around Tokyo, and you're fighting something called the Noise, I guess. And here it says you can chain. So when you uncover the Noise, you can chain them so that you're attacking more than once. So they said that you're going to be able to choose how difficult you want this game to play. If you want to attack a large group of enemies. And it also says you can lower your team's level to make things harder and to get more drops. And you can also increase the difficulty of the game to get more drops, as well as attacking more enemies. So they're definitely trying to make this a unique experience. And I mean, you can just see it from the videos. Yeah, it looks like a really cool game. And I think I'm just going to play the demo before I decide to purchase it. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Metroid Dread Special Edition is sold out due to scalpers. So, my co-host, Josie, he messaged me. I was traveling during E3, so I missed most of it. Only when I got back home, I just watched all the trailers. And he messaged me Metroid Dread. And I was like, huh? What's going on? So I didn't really pay attention. Well, what he was messaging me was to go and pre-order the special edition, but I missed it. And now let's look at what's going on here. So it popped up. Everybody pre-ordered it, but what happened was, like most things, like the PS5, people couldn't actually order it because it was sold out immediately. And now it was speculation. It was a bunch of bots. But now I can safely say, I think most people can safely say it was a bunch of bots, because if you look at, so here is the special edition here. If you look at eBay, you can see it's all over eBay. Like if you go on eBay now and just type Metroid Dread, you're just going to see a bunch of listings for pre-orders of Metroid Dread. Now, I saw a video with a gentleman, I don't remember his name, but he brought up some interesting points. He said, why are you allowed to sell something on eBay that you don't own? But, a bunch of people brought up some points like it's they probably wouldn't be able to enforce, you know, banning items that you don't own yet because it would just create a logistical nightmare for them. So that's probably not going to happen. But another point that this guy made was why does Nintendo keep limiting their special editions like this? Like why do they keep creating this like FOMO, which Josie was able to get a copy, but a lot of people weren't, and it instead went to scalpers. So why do they keep giving power to the scalpers? One way to take away the power would be to do it like limited run, where you have a open pre-order where every collector can go in, order what they want, and then they produce that number. And then if you miss it, tough luck. They leave it open usually for a month or a couple months. And then everyone who's a diehard gets their copy. They don't have to rely on scalpers. And anyone who missed it, then they pay an exorbitant price. But they at least had a good month, not 15 seconds, which is usually the time limit it takes to purchase. Like, you literally have to buy these under a minute or they're gone. I mean, there's no way around it. So I'm hoping either Nintendo opens up a new round of pre-orders and do it a smart way, make people have like a Nintendo account, verify that they're actual people, something. Don't just, open it up to anybody who can just like go in and order like 5 of them, So yeah, Nintendo still hasn't learned about this. They still don't care, I guess. So yeah, that's definitely a big issue. And yeah, I'm sorry if you didn't get it. The only way now is scalpers. And I would say if you hate scalpers and what they stand for, don't buy it. Just get the regular edition. Or maybe wait a couple years when the the FOMO has died out and the price drops, if it ever drops. I mean, it might just go up. So I don't know. So yeah, there you have it. Scalpers ruining yet another release, but at the same time, Nintendo not doing anything to help collectors. So, all right. Next up, we have an article from Eurogamer. We want players having fun in Halo, not grind it like it's a job. 343 on Halo's infinite 3-month seasons and permanent battle pass. So, all right, let's explain this. Because I do not partake in battle passes for the most part. I guess the only one I do partake in is on League of Legends Team Fight Tactics. But those usually you can breeze through those at your leisure. Like I play like 1 game a day and I can unlock everything. But in games like Call of Duty, a lot of people are saying, they're stressed out because they're not going to be able to get this cosmetic item because the time limit and blah, blah, blah. So what Halo's doing is they're having battle passes, but you can access them at any time. And also the seasons are 3 months long. So each season you're going to have 3 months to play it. You're going to have 3 months to get what you want. If you want to buy a battle pass and get the extra loot, you can buy it. And then if you miss the season, you can go back, activate your battle pass, and still unlock everything. So that is, I guess, look, I was reading the comments here and people are very happy with that. So I don't know. I'm still undecided how I feel about battle passes in general. I think for some games it works. Other games it's tacky and devalues the game, and it also devalues the player's time. But here they're saying, look, We know you have a life. We're gonna make the seasons 3 months long, and we're also gonna make you if you did buy the battle pass because you wanted that shiny item, we're gonna allow you to unlock it at any time. So that's definitely better than what games like Call of Duty are doing. But yeah, I'm still not sure I'm even gonna partake in battle passes in this game, to be honest. I'm not too, like I said, the only game I ever do it in is Team Fight Tactics. And I don't purchase battle pass in any other game. So yeah, I think they're moving more towards a consumer friendly practice. But I still think the question is, does this game even need a battle pass? I don't know the answer to that, but I think studios should be asking that first before they just automatically put battle passes in their game to generate revenue. Okay. But I guess you could make the argument for Halo Infinite, since its multiplayer is free to play, that it makes sense for them to put a battle pass in it. I mean, you could make that argument that free games are the ones that require battle passes for them to make money. I think that is a fair argument. But a game that you buy, should that game have battle pass? There's a lot of games that you buy that have battle passes, which suck. Fighting games now. A good friend of mine brought this up. The barrier of entry to a fighting game is ridiculous. Like, you have to pay over $100 for a fighting game now, because you need the season passes, or else you're not going to get the rest of the characters. And if you don't get the characters, you got to buy the characters. You like, a complete fighting game now costs well over $100. I mean, is it worth it? I don't know. How much do you play the game? Do you value it that much? Yeah, so I think a lot of games need to ask the question: do we even need battle passes? In the case of Halo, since their multiplayer is free, I guess you could make that argument. But yeah, a lot of people are saying this is a good step, and they hope other games would do that. So next up, speaking of fighting games, Guilty Gear Strive is likely the second largest fighting game launch on PC ever. So what does this mean? Well, they did the numbers, and they found that if you look at the peak players, Dragon Ball Fighters had 44,234, and Guilty Gear Strive comes in at 30,939. Mortal Kombat 11 is at 27,301. So, yeah. And it's crazy to me that Street Fighter 5 is. But you know what? It makes sense because the game launched on PlayStation long before it came to PC. So, yeah, it looks like the market is shifting for fighting games. Also, I just want to note that it looks like Guilty Gear Strive reached over 300,000 copies shipped, and that was in the first week. So that's good to hear. You know, fighting games they're a niche audience, and it's hard to make a successful fighting game these days. First of all, there's a lot of them coming out, especially from indie studios, and they're all the same thing pretty much. You just pick your character, and then you learn them, and then you fight people. They don't really deviate too much from the single player mode, unless you're talking about like the Persona fighting game. What was it? I forget the name of it, but it had like a 40-hour story mode. And then NetherRealm Studios, their Mortal Kombat games tend to have more fleshed out story modes. But other than that, fighting games are all competing against each other. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to see Guilty Gear Strive doing well on PC. And in fact, I plan on buying it on PC next month because I have some friends playing. So, very interesting to see. And yeah, it's a beautiful game, and I'm glad it's doing well. All right, next up. Zelda Skyward Sword HD will have various quality of life enhancements, Nintendo said. So when we originally, I believe I covered this last year when it came out, that a lot of the diehard Zelda players ranked this as one of their least favorite Zelda games because of a lot of quality of life issues with the way the game played. And there were also some other issues that John brought up as well in one of the past episodes. But Nintendo has said they're gonna improve some things. So let's take a look at that. They're gonna have enhanced performance, which goes without saying. It's an older game re-rendered on a newer console, so the console performance should make the game run better. Improve motion controls with the Joy-Con controllers. We already talked about this. One of the main complaints was the Wii Mote. People had trouble like slicing properly and registering their commands. So the motion controls are improved with the Joy-Con, which just has better technology in general. All new button controls allowing you to choose your style of play. So you're going to be able to choose if you want to play it on a controller or you want to use the motion controls. So that's important. A lot of people, like myself, would probably just choose the controller. And various quality of life enhancements, including refinements to player tutorials and general guidance throughout the adventure. So what this article is saying that the it might have a better fast travel system and mapping and being able to navigate throughout the world. So yeah, definitely good to see that they're taking past criticisms into play here, and they're making improvements on the HD remake. So next up we have this is a crazy story. Abandoned dev appears on camera to I wouldn't say denounce Silent Hill Hideo Kojima speculation. Well, I guess you could say he's denouncing just the speculation. He's not denouncing Silent Hill or Hideo Kojima. But here is here is the head guy, Hassan Karaman. Karaman. I don't know how to say his name properly. Sorry about that. So he posted this video on Blue Box Game Studios, which is the developer of Abandoned, and he said, "Look, I am real. I am a real person. This game is my game. This is not Silent Hill. I'm not working for Kojima. Please give us a chance. Stop saying that I'm not a real person. Stop saying that this game is not real. It's just a Silent Hill teaser." So yeah, I mean, look, people love to go crazy with conspiracy theories, but obviously this guy feels bad about it because he's posting like, "Look, guys, I'm trying to make this game. I'm trying to release this game, and everyone's just saying that I'm not a real person." I mean, that can't feel good. Now, that being said, on the other flip side, people hate being made a fool of themselves. So they tend to hold on to these theories till the bitter end because they don't want this guy to come out in the end and say, "Ha, gotcha. It was a Silent Hill game." But I'm going to take it at face value, and I'm going to say Abandoned is probably just an indie horror game. And I'm not going to take it as a Silent Hill game anymore. I've seen all the speculations. Some of it was far-reaching. The one that was kind of interesting was when he tweeted like, "Abandon, starts with S and ends with L." So who knows? Maybe he's just playing off of it a little bit. But maybe Abandon is just Abandon, and Kojima is teasing an actual Silent Hill game that's being worked on that's not related to Abandon. So we'll have to wait and see, because last year we covered a lot of potential news of an upcoming Silent Hill game, but it had nothing to do with Abandon. This Abandon thing came later after the trailer came out. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show this guy some respect, and I'm gonna say Abandon is Abandon, but there might be a different Silent Hill title in the works out there. So next up, and the final story. Tekken X Street Fighter isn't dead, series boss said. Quotes were mistranslated. So we are still hopeful that Tekken X Street Fighter will resume development when the opportunity arrives. So Katsuhiro Harada, he's the head director of Tekken, the Tekken franchise, and he has a show called Harada's Bar, where he has a bar and he invites people over, and it's like a long form kind of video podcast type show. And so in the show, they have like subtitles. It said up to 30% of the in the clip it said the game was completed by 30% and then it was canceled. But he's saying the actual translation is up to 30% of the development was in progress, but now it is still pending. So that means that it's not completely dead, and the translation was wrong. So let's look at another thing he says. We are still hopeful that Tekken X Street Fighter will resume development when the opportunity arises, he wrote. However, such a title cannot be moved just for the convenience of one company in terms of marketing and branding, and it also affects each other's development resources. For now, we are just waiting for the right opportunity. So there you have it. It was a mistranslated quote. The game is still technically pending at 30% complete. Now, the question is, do we really want this game anymore? I wanted it back then, but I don't think I want it anymore, because Street Fighter X Tekken was a very slow-paced, boring game. I know the pros loved it, but the game did not sell well. The game did not do well. It had a plotting gameplay, and it didn't last long. So do I want that, or do I want a new Tekken? I think I'd rather just have a new Tekken. Tekken 7 has been milked pretty hard. So yeah, let's wait and see. But yeah, he did not say it was canceled. He said it's basically pending indefinitely. So yeah, that's it for this week. Very short show. There wasn't much, big news this week, so that's why I just picked some small stories that I thought were interesting. So if you like this show, please like and subscribe. Leave comments. Let us know what you think. And, if you want us to cover something during the week, tweet us at gamesibeat. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening to this episode of Games I Speak. If you liked the episode, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.